Hello everyone, I'm Sarah. Welcome to 1213 Prescott Way. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you will be notified when we post another video. I said a video. I said a video. Video. So you guys, welcome to the channel. I haven't been here in several days, but I am back. And guess what? I made a fish and shrimp stew. Using shrimp, of course, salmon, of course, and I used broccoli, cauliflower, onions, bell pepper, celery, carrots, tomatoes, cabbage, and potatoes. Yes, and then I made a broth, and here it is, over rice. So, how are you guys doing? What are you eating? Here's the salmon and the shrimp. I would take a bite. Yes. Oh yeah, one thing's missing, my Tabasco. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I know I am, as opposed to yesterday, but I'll get into it after I take a few bites. There's some salmon. I'm ready to eat. I had breakfast earlier. Wow. I made me a smoothie. I haven't made one in a long time. I was hot. And I didn't want to go to the store. I was contemplating going to get me a beer because it sounded good. So instead of beer, I was going to make me some ginger beer. You know, the shortcut way, just and then just add some concoction with it. I was going to do some coconut, shredded coconut, and ginger, and go from there. I'm going to blend them in my bullet. Shrimp and this is very good. Normally I don't really like that much juice, but it is too good. What are you guys eating? I hope you're eating as good as me. I just had vegetables in the refrigerator that I needed to get rid of because, you know, they started to, you can see that they were getting ready to start going bad, so I used everything that I had. And this is ginger. I grated the ginger, the coconut, the strawberry, blueberry, and a half of apple with water. And it's very good because I don't usually use water, but I'm just starting to cut back. I'm not using almond milk as much and juice. I really don't use juice at all unless it's the fresh juice. Mm-mm. Mm. Delicious. Delicious. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. So you guys, we went to Silver Dollar City today. It's an amusement park. It's so nice. That's the first time we've been there. We've headed that way, and we actually didn't know how to get in there. But our neighbor was very gracious, and she knocked on our door a couple months ago and gave me some tickets. She gave me 2 tickets for us to go comps because I guess she works at the theme park. So they actually expire tomorrow, the 11th. So we went today. And it was such a relaxing day, and today was nice and breezy, a lot of shade. So, excuse me. So we had a good time. We didn't go on any roller coasters. We're not feeling those anymore because we used to love them. But today we weren't feeling them. We went on a train ride, and that was nice. When we got there, it was warm because we where we parked, we had to take a trolley. They come and pick you up, and we were at stop 2, so we got on the trolley, and it's free. They just pick you up and take you to the park, so you don't have to walk. So we had a really good time. When we first got there, we stopped at the lemonade stand. But the lemonade wasn't that great. We even added, because you can add like different flavor pumps into it. I'm back, you guys. I had to stop the video. I'm like, all that fish I cooked, I didn't get hardly any on my plate. Now see, this is a bone. Oh, it's actually a piece of celery. There's some salmon right there. At first I was only going to do salmon, but then I had about 7 jumbo shrimp left, so I said, well, I'll just add that to it. I got one of the bay leaves I put in there. I'm gonna eat all of this. So overall, we had a great time. So, let me tell you what happened yesterday. To Sunday, today started off the week very nicely, but I ended the week not so great yesterday. So, when I was at work yesterday, Friday, I was like, shoot, I haven't had Indian food in such a long time. I used to go all the time in Vegas, with my girlfriend, just trying different places and just loving it because I love it. And my favorite is salmon tandoori, for the fish tandoori, and they use salmon. I love it with the naan bread, the garlic naan bread. But anyway, so I don't know anything about Springfield, so, with the restaurants and that kind of thing. So I Googled it, and they had 3 in Springfield. So I started looking at the recipes, and the only one that had, the menu, and the only one that had the fish tandoori was this particular one. Oh, I'm using my phone to film. I was going to tell you the name of it. So I was really excited, and so I was going to go after work and get something for David and I and bring it home, and then I was going to actually do a mukbang so that you guys could see what I ordered and, eat the food on while I'm talking. So I looked at the hours, thank goodness, because they closed from 2:30 and open back up at 5 when I get off at 4. So I said, well, I'll just go tomorrow, which was yesterday. Excuse me again. So I was telling my girlfriend when we were at the show, David and her husband's show, when we were at the show Friday night, I was telling her that I was going to go, and she was like, oh, I never had Indian food. And then she was looking at the menu as well and great reviews. So she was like, oh, I'm going to come too. So we both, we're both excited. We go, and we order our food. I'm just trying to cut it down. We order our food, and I know this is taking extra long. We're just sitting there, just wondering, and then my girlfriend notices that they served someone who got there after we did. So then she was like saying, well, maybe it's what we ordered, and we're like, well, shrimp and salmon, because she got the shrimp tandoori and I got the salmon tandoori. We were like, shouldn't take that long, those shouldn't, but maybe it's the way they prepare it that takes longer. So we flagged them down, and they said that same thing, that they had to barbecue it and had to do this and that. So we were like, okay. Because, we're both starving because we were just waiting. We didn't eat breakfast or anything. We were just waiting to eat this. And we got there at 12:30 for lunch. And so when they finally bring our food, let me tell you guys, burnt. And when I say burnt, I don't mean, just a little brown, a little dark brown or a little side or no. Her shrimp tail was black. One side of her shrimp was black. My salmon was black. It was, and one piece was so burnt that it was, like how if it's burning, that it will burn it going towards the middle, not just the outside. So we were like, what the, and I was telling her I was so disappointed, and also disappointed for her because she had never tried it before, and I was telling her how great it was, but the presentation was, bad. So we're looking around because while we were waiting, we were watching everyone else's food, and it was, looked very good. So I was like, what the hell? So then she calls him over, and it's like, she was asking him, is this how it's supposed to look? And he had the nerve to say, yes, that is how they do it. And I looked at him and I was like, I've ordered this for years in Vegas, all over Las Vegas at Indian restaurants, and I have never seen burnt salmon and burnt shrimp. I don't care what kind of dish you're eating, And so he was saying that's how they do it there. So I just registered that, and I was telling her that I guess we won't ever come back to this one. So we're going to go try the other one, and but I just didn't see anyone else's stuff that was burnt, regardless of what you ordered. But long story short, so after that, I was like, okay. They were asking, do you want it? Do you want a to-go box? Because we stopped eating at that point, and we were like, no, because I even ordered extra rice afterwards. Because when I go to the Indian restaurants in Las Vegas, because that was my first time here, I never went to an Indian restaurant here. So normally I will order one, eat it with my girlfriend while I'm there, and then order another one to go with David's. I always order him one as well. And so I had gotten extra rice ahead of time yesterday because I just knew that that's what I was going to do again. because I love their rice. And so no, didn't order any food for David, didn't order me another dish, and we didn't take our leftovers. We paid, got up, he's like, I discounted it, you know, so we will never go back there. So that was that. So when after that, I had, like I said, I had Friday I planned out Saturday. I was going to go to the Indian restaurant. Afterwards, I was going to go to the hookah lounge. Because there's only the one hookah lounge in Missouri. The girl at the hookah lounge was telling me last year, because I hadn't been in over a year, and she was telling me it was the only hookah lounge because they were grandfathered in. When they banned indoor smoking, they had already existed prior to the ban, so everywhere else closed down. So I was like, oh good, but they didn't sell. They have like a cooler with like beer and little bottles of alcohol, or that kind of thing, and no food, which I'm used to because Vegas, we would go to the hookah lounge and it's a restaurant, and they would have music and just that kind of environment. But I was cool with just the hookah, as long because it was the only one. So I'm like, that's all I can get. So then I do my GPS because I want to know how to. I knew it was close to it because I had already kind of done it on Friday, and it did say it was like 3 minutes away. So I was like, okay, that's not or something like that. So when I put it in, it was like saying it didn't even give me driving directions. It was like walking distance, 2 minutes, and I was like, huh? So I said, well, I'm getting in my car anyway. So all I did was drive around the corner, because the restaurant is on Jefferson corner, and Walnut is the corner right at where I am. You know what I mean? And it's on Walnut. So all I had to do was just go around the corner and park. And so I did just that. Get out the car, walk to where the hookah lounge is. And I'm walking there and I'm looking, I'm like, okay, it says Jimmy John's, and then it says something Greek restaurant, and that's where I knew the hookah lounge to be. So I'm walking, I'm like looking, and then I put on my GPS because I want to see if it takes me somewhere else. So I said maybe it's on the corner behind me. So I backtracked, and then it told me to keep going about 150 feet in front of me. And so when I got there, it told me I was at 320 Walnut Street. So I was like, okay, I'm right in front of it. And there were two people sitting outside eating outside of the Greek restaurant. So I asked them, I was like, I said, do you know where Albatross Hookah Lounge is? And they were like, no, I'm sorry. And then he goes, what's the address? I said 320. And as soon as I said it, I looked up, saw that the Greek restaurant was 320 at the same time when he said, this is 320. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I was like, are you serious? So then I went online, because when I looked it up on Friday, it didn't tell me anything. It didn't give me any information about the existence of it or the non-existence. So when I put it in this time, it said permanently closed. And I was like, oh, but let me go back at the restaurant again. So when they bring the bill, because I'm going to treat my girlfriend to lunch, and especially feeling bad that the food was burnt up and everything, I really was going to go ahead and pay for our food. I had already planned on it anyway. So when he brought the check, I took it. And when I got ready to pay for it, I knew right away when I looked in my bag, I said, oh my gosh, I forgot my debit card at home on the counter in the bathroom, because I had given it to David earlier that day. And when he gave it back to me, it was time for me to go in there to get ready to go meet my girlfriend at the Indian restaurant. And so while I had it on the countertop in the bathroom getting ready, I was looking at it and I was saying to myself, you'd better put it in your purse because you're going to forget it right here. And when you get in there, you're going to be like, oh no, I don't have my debit card. And so I did just that. Left it there and said, oh no, I don't have my debit card. And she was like, girl, that's okay, I'll pay. And I was like, okay, I'll pay you back, because we were going to David's and her husband's show that night. later that evening. And so I told her I'd give her the money then. And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh no, I can't go to the hookah lounge because I don't have any money. I didn't have any cash. The only card that I would have taken with me would have been my debit card. Didn't have that either. So she was like, here. I was like, okay, just give me $20. And because I already know, the hookah is not that much. So I was like, just give me $20 and then I'll give everything back to you when I see you. She goes, I don't have $20, and gives me a $100 bill. I'm like, and so I say that to say, because I had to backtrack on that part. It reminded me of being in Las Vegas because that's how my girlfriends and I are. We would be fighting over the paycheck. The check when the waiter brings it. Like, I'll pay it. No, I'll pay it. And, easy to just hand over the money. Like, girl, don't worry about it. I know you're gonna, I know you got me or whatever. That kind of thing. So that made me feel really good as well. But I didn't accomplish anything that Saturday. She was like, I'm going to Dillard's. So she was shopping. And I know she was having fun, but I was like, I texted her and said, oh, and then after I saw that it said permanently closed in bold letters on my phone when I Googled the hookah lounge, I got in my car. I was heading back home, still kind of hungry because I didn't eat the food. Thank goodness I drank their mango. It was a mango drink, and it was delicious. And I drank that before they even brought the food, so I was kind of full, because it was real thick. It had yogurt in it. So I see a McDonald's because I'm like, ooh, I want me a chocolate shake. And so I get in line. I turn in there, and I'm like, oh, shoot, do they take a $100 bill? Because that was all I had. And so when I drove, I said, first I drove into the parking lot, and I thought that before I got into the drive-thru. And so I said, well, shoot, I'm just going to, because there weren't anybody in front of me or anything like that. So I said, well, I'll just drive off if they can't break it. So I got up to the drive-thru, and I asked I asked them, and she was like, yes. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. So then I was texting my girlfriend, Deborah. I was telling her about me going to McDonald's, and she was cracking up. I was like, shoot, I had change and stuff in my purse, but I don't think it would have equaled enough to get the chocolate shake. So anyway, that is my story of how yesterday went, and then today was awesome. And yesterday was as well, because we did talk and have great conversation while we were at the Indian restaurant. So I'm not going to say it was a failed day, just the intention, the reason that I went, to get the food and to go do hookah, and none of that happened. But other than that, it was a good day as far as, like I said, us having a good time in conversation. So I just wanted to let you guys know, and I hope you guys like this video. I am going to go now because I've been talking, and I will see you on the next video. I'm going to finish my food, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night, and I will see you on the next video. Love you. Peace.